I'm about as subtle as a death growl in an echo chamber. Hit it!
Welcome backstage. I'm Damian Deadlove. Tonight's band has a very interesting story on writing a song that far exceeded expectations of what its initial purpose was. I'm talking about Britain's own Black Sabbath. Often credited as one of the forefathers of heavy metal, along with Led Zeppelin, they've inspired many a metal band. The group formed in 1968, once going by the name Earth. I think they made the right choice changing the name. The original lineup consisted of Ozzy Osbourne, vocals, Tony Iommi, guitar, Geezer Butler, bass, and Bill Ward, drums. I also like the second incarnation with Ronnie James Dio on vocals, but I digress, because this story is about the original band. They took to the idea of being darker in their themes and lyrics. The music would follow suit, of course. The concept was quite simple, actually. They looked at it like this. If people pay money to watch horror films just to have it scare them, why couldn't music be the same way? Makes sense to me, folks. An important side note here. Since this tale is about writing a song, it's important to know that Ozzy has never been able to write a lyric in his life. I shit you not. Not making that up at all. He's been fortunate that a lot of his career he has always had a bass player who could pen the words. Geezer wrote the lyrics to all your favorite Sabbath songs while Osbourne was in the band. Bob Daisley wrote lyrics for all the Randy Rhoads era of Ozzy's solo career. He also played bass. Even Ozzy's biggest hit ballad, Mama, I'm Coming Home, had the words written by, you guessed it, a bass player. You probably heard of this guy, though. Goes by the name of Lemmy Kilmister. The first record was self-titled, meaning it was called Black Sabbath, and was released on February 13th, 1970. It yielded only one single, Evil Woman, which was a cover song from a band called Crow. It didn't set the world on fire as a single, but the album was a metal masterpiece for fans. It got the ball rolling, folks. The next record was crucial for the band's forward momentum. And this is where our story truly begins. The second album, called War Pigs, had a lot riding on it. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Damian, what kind of drugs you on, buddy? That's not the name of the record. I know it's not named that now, but originally that was the name of the record. See, record companies are always the villain in every situation. While in the studio, Sabbath had recorded 7 tracks, which was all they had written. Well, unbeknownst to them, the record was short of the 40-minute mark from beginning to end. This seemed to give the record execs a case of the red ass, and they demanded another song to get it over the threshold. The band was on a break, and all the guys, except Tony, had went out for a spot of tea. They're British, you know, and I probably butchered the expression anyways. Because after being made aware of the situation, he had stayed behind to see if he could come up with a riff. The record execs wanted what was called a filler song, which is exactly what it sounds like, people. They're not looking for a hit, just something to fill up time. You've probably heard one before. It's usually the weakest song on the album. Sometimes it's been known to be that tune that seems odd and like it doesn't quite fit the vibe and the quality of the others. If you're lucky and have a couple of extra songs lying around that you know are not up to snuff, this is when you pull one of those tunes out just to get the record company off your back. If that's not the case, you gotta write one. Luckily for these lads, they have one of the best riff writers ever. So many iconic riffs have been composed by Tony Iommi. Some of them on this album, like Iron Man, Electric Funeral, Hand of Doom, Fairies Wear Boots, Planet Caravan. Add in the instrumental Rat Salad and the epic War Pigs, and this is shaping up to be one hell of an album. It's about to get even better, because what we get is not a filler song by any means. Tony writes a masterpiece of a riff, so iconic that just about every guitar player I've ever met learned how to play it, along with a bunch of other Sabbath songs. Geezer was the first one back to the studio and was asked to pen some words to this 2-minute and 48-second piece of history. He would not disappoint anybody with what he wrote down. Once Bill and Ozzy returned, it was showtime. With words in hand, Ozzy started coming up with a vocal melody while the other guys started running through the song a few times and adding a change or two to the composition. Then they laid down the track we now know as Paranoid. A song so legendary that it also became the name of the album and a huge iconic hit. And the rest, as they say, is history. That's our show for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, music is the soundtrack of our lives. Peace, love, and linen. I'm Damian Deadlove.